Hey everyone, I'm going to be comparing the Z3 and the Z3v on Verizon. So as you can see here, I have the Verizon version, the Z3v. Now I don't have the regular Z3, but I have used it in stores, and before buying this I've done a lot of research on the differences between the two. So now that I've had this for a couple weeks, I have a pretty good understanding of how they differ, and also just whether or not it's worth buying this, maybe even switching carriers. So we'll just get right into the differences. The main difference on the Z3v is the casing, and the exterior of this is basically a modified Z2 rather than a Z3. When I used the demo unit at the store, I was immediately able to tell just how the Z3 is just lighter, thinner, just overall a little bit more comfortable to use, a little bit easier to handle. Now with this, I can still reach like the top, bottom of the screen, no problem. I can do everything one-handed, so for me it's not really an issue. You also have, now the sides, the design, I actually like the way that the sides look more on this. Of course, you got the Verizon logos, which is kind of hard to avoid in any Android phones now. And I think there are a few positives, like you can see the notification light on here is a bar rather than this on the regular Z3 where it's just a light. So overall, I do prefer the regular Z3 in terms of design, just because it's a little bit easier to hold. But for me anyways, it's definitely not a deal breaker. Another difference is on the screen, this uses a Z2 screen rather than a Z3. So the outer body and the screen and a very small portion of the camera are from the Z2, whereas everything internally is a Z3. So now just going back to the screen, this uses a Z2 screen, which is a huge improvement over the Z1 screen. The only difference is, and it's a really great screen overall, the only difference is with this regular Z3 has a technology in it which helps with preserving battery life. And also the regular Z3 is easier to see in the sunlight, it's just a brighter screen. For me, using this in the sun is no problem. It's easier to see than most phones that I've used. And in terms of the battery, I mean, the battery on this is really phenomenal. Coming from my Galaxy S3, where I was having to charge it multiple times a day, this is really a major improvement, because I haven't had to charge it once throughout the day. I can just go to, they advertise this as lasting at least a day, and it's absolutely true. If you run out of the battery before the day is over, you're almost definitely overusing the phone or doing something ridiculous like watching Netflix over 4G. And also, just going back to the battery, this actually has a slightly bigger battery. So when the screen's on, because of the technology, it's not going to last as long. But when the screen's not on, like in standby mode or listening to music or something, it will actually last a little bit longer than the Z3. So this is definitely, regardless of which version of the Z3 it is, Z3, Z3v, this is definitely easily one of the best batteries that you can get on any smartphone. The camera on this is a little bit different. They're both the 20.7 megapixel. It's a really excellent camera. Let me just pull it up real quick. You still got all the same options. You can do 4K video. Really the only difference on this is the ISO rating is a little bit lower than the regular Z3. And so for that, it's how well the phone takes pictures in low light situations. And just compared to the other phones I've used, the ISO on this is more than enough. Like in low lighting, this is more than adequate. I actually wouldn't want it to be any higher just because I feel it would start washing out the pictures a little bit too much. So I'm definitely very happy with the camera, and I don't mind the difference of that. For maybe even the biggest difference though between them is just because of the design. I said it was a modified Z2. It's actually a little bit bigger than a Z2. So I think the top is like a little bit taller. So in terms of accessories, particularly stuff like cases, most of the Z3 and especially the Z3, but even some of the Z2 stuff is not going to work on this. Like, I still don't have a case for this because I could get the Verizon versions. Those are really, I mean, they're pretty expensive. I think they're good cases, but they're like $20-$30. There's some stuff coming out on Amazon, but it's not until December. So that's something to keep in mind, just the accessories. Overall, though, I mean, oh, and let me just get to the good part. One of the positive changes about this is it does have this wireless charging. It's a really nice feature, especially because on the Z3, on the sides, you have these flaps, which makes it a little bit annoying to plug in and charge each night. So it's definitely a welcome addition to this. So all in all, after using this for a couple weeks, first of all, I'll say that it is an absolutely phenomenal smartphone. I've used the iPhone 6. I had a Galaxy before this. Tested them all out, and this is my favorite. The two biggest reasons, I'm going to have a full review, but the two biggest reasons are the camera, especially the videos, and just the battery life. So, while I think the Z3 might be a little bit better than this, it is nice having the wireless charging, and the differences are not deal breakers. If the regular Z3 is the best phone on the market, then I think this is the second best phone. And also for me, I prefer Verizon service over the competition. So all in all, I'm definitely very satisfied with this phone, happy that I got it, and yeah, I'm going to have a full review on it soon, but just wanted to talk about some of the differences between the Z3 and the Z3v for those trying to decide. So yeah, if you guys have any comments or anything, feel free to ask, and I'll have more videos soon.